on the phone with a friend years ago, and I remember she was telling me, oh, and keep in mind, guys, I was not in a relationship. I didn't have a husband, but she was telling me, she was like, why don't you just have a baby? I was in my 20s, and she just had a baby herself at 28 years old. And she was saying, just have a baby. And so I wanted to talk in this video about baby mama culture. And then also, I saw a video by Rivah Tv where she talked about a video that she made like almost a year ago, where DL Hughley reposted a video of her that she made. And I just wanted to say, in reference to that video, she made some very good talking points. And I'm going to put a link down in the description box with that video. But anyway, so I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't have to get married. I could just have children, and, it doesn't matter. I know one lady in particular, and guys, when I seen her video, I just wanted to come on here and do like a response video to Rivah TV's video. And so I think, of course, you shouldn't just be having children by just anyone. And I had wanted to also talk about how, I have like friends that are, married, and, they had children. And actually, the other day, this was in the beginning of this month, it was actually on Friday, like what day was that? On March the 8th, I was talking to a friend, and we were on the conversation about, people having children and everything. And, and we had mentioned about how people would just, and I remember me in particular, I had mentioned to her, I was like, people, I know a lot of people, they want to have their children young, and, they want to have their children in their 20s, but, it's not good to just have a child by anyone, so especially, there's no commitment there. There's you just doing whatever. And so I know with my friend, we were just having this discussion. We mentioned like abortion as well, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get into like abortion in this particular video, but I found it interesting how some people will just be like, oh, you don't need marriage, and they won't praise marriage. But if you have five children by two baby daddies, they're like, oh yeah, girl, you do your thing. You don't need a man and all this stuff. This was I remember River was talking about in that video, and I know there are different people that have different views. They were like, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper. Marriage doesn't guarantee anything. Yes, marriage doesn't guarantee, that people will stick around, but, there's certain protections that you have with your children. At least you came to agreement in the beginning of that marriage that, hey, we're going to stick this out forever. There are things that can happen, where you say, oh, it might not work out, but at least you did go into it with that commitment and that forever in mind. So, but yeah, I just thought that that video that Rivah TV posted today, which is March the 10th, 2024, and she she put some of the comments down into that video, and how people were like, oh, she was talking about the sisterhood, and how people were just against her in that video, and how, basically, how dare she, talk about this, and talk about how women should do. And I know in a part of that video she was talking about how like some people, as they get older, they get bitter, and you should listen more. Instead of listening to react, you just listen. And I know some people, as far as the baby mama culture, that's like promoted a lot. You see these different celebrities that, have these babies and various children. And for example, there's different people that praise, like, oh yeah, girl, have your child. Everybody was like so happy with Kiki Palmer had her son and everything. But I think people should, before they have children, they should think about this person that they're having a child by. And I know me and my friend, when we were discussing this on Friday, I know she was telling a young lady who's like 23 now, and she was telling this young lady, she's like, hey, you should, before you get married, you should discuss with this person, the certain values you have. Like, I know she was saying with herself, education is very, very important. And my friend, she has a daughter. Her daughter is 4 years old. And, she was saying that, she wants her daughter to have the best education. She wants her daughter, before she even starts thinking about having children, to have all these letters behind her name, these certifications, in other words, and things like that. So, I think that's great. But, there's also a downside. I mentioned to her over the phone, you can have like all this education, you can wait and wait, but you don't want to wait too late, and then you might not be able to have children at all. And, she agreed to that. But I know we were talking about balance and everything. And I know, I'm bouncing back and forth with like my thoughts some in this video. But, when Rivah TV had posted that video, I was like, let me jump on here. I was like, it's sad, in our community, especially in, the African American community, the Black community. Everybody, promotes the baby mama culture, or they praise it. They're like, you don't need a husband, you can do it by yourself. You don't need this. Marriage is just a piece of paper. Marriage is not that important, but it is important. You think about the history of marriage and everything is, and you think about a legacy. You want your family to have a legacy, and you want your name to be passed down, and you want to have like a positive reflection with not only in your family, in your community as well. And like I said, guys, I want to put down in the description box Rivah TV's video. But yeah, I just think that our culture should promote marriage more. And everybody's, you have like the black women and black men, it seems like they're against each other, and everybody's butting heads, and it's kind of like, oh, the men are like, oh, I don't want to marry her, but you will go around, you will sleep with that person. But sleeping with that person, it makes it even worse. You have that soul tie. There's that possibility that they'll get pregnant. If they do get pregnant, you're going to be tied to that person forever. And, you don't want that, especially if you're not really into that person. So, I mean, I think people just don't think about certain things when they just, want to lay with this person. The person, oh, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. Oh, you're not going to find anyone that's going to and then first of all, let me get before I get into this, you should wait until, marriage before you get intimate with anyone. But that's a whole nother conversation because people like, oh, ain't nobody going to wait till no marriage for that. Like, are you crazy? um, I remember this guy, people will call you. I remember this guy was like, he thought it was stupid. I had mentioned that before, whatever. Um, I was talking to this guy, and he didn't think it was a good idea. Everybody has to, you know, as they say, try before you buy, and I hate that that analogy where they say, oh, you wouldn't go out and buy a car without test driving it. I just hate that whole analogy. But anyway, but I thought Rivah Tv made some very good points in her particular video, and y'all should check it out. All right, I hope y'all having a good day, and stay tuned.